All right, hello once again, Jeff Scott, formerly of Rankin Technical College. And as part of my YouTube channel, JPS-Jeff Teaches Programming, and in particular, the YouTube playlist, Jeff Teaches Programming -Python. I've been going over a series of Python programs, and lately I've been writing and rewriting a basic kind of an employee payroll application. And I first did it using the 4 basic data structures that you have in Python, those being lists, dictionaries, tuples, and sets. But I did them in a non-object oriented way, and now I'm going back and redoing the same ones using object orientation. So far I've gone back and I have rewritten the one for lists and the one for dictionaries. So it's time for tuples. So that's what I'm going to do right now. So if I come out here, there is Python tuple. Let's just right away open the folder. What you're going to see in there is I've got a main, but all that's in the main is just the comments that are saying that this is an object-oriented program and it's going to use tuples. I did go back and in the both in the non-object-oriented programming and in the object-oriented programming, put in links to either the list, dictionary, tuple, or set page that was on w3schools.com. So if you want to get a better look at any of the really at any of the associated methods, you'd be able to do that. Okay, so with that said, let's go in here and start. Now, as I've been doing, and again, whether this is a good way to do it or not, I don't know, but I'm going to import employee MGR as emp MGR. Now I don't have an employee MGR yet, so that's why it's giving me errors. So let's define main. All right, we're going to say MGR equals, so we're going to instantiate here. All right, so that's going to be equals emp MGR dot employee MGR. And again, if I get that error that you see up there, please don't worry about it. We'll get that fixed very shortly, really. All right, now let's set up our menu. It's going to be a simpler menu because there's not that much available inside of tuples. I have about 6 print lines here, and again, as always, it has screwed up my. All right, that got screwed up. I don't know how. I must be hitting the space bar instead of the tab key. All right, so let's do this right now. So the first one, as always, all right, if it's a 1, we want to be able to add a new employee. All right, if it's a 2, we want to count the employees. We'll do that by, I think we're going to do it by employee number. If I'm wrong, I'll go back and change this, but I think that's how we did it. Next, we want to get an employee index. Next, we want to display all employees. And then finally, we just want to be able to exit. All right, so we'll say normal program termination exits. All right, then as we have been doing, choice equals input. Please enter a 1 through 5 now. All right. And then just as we have been doing, because again, there's not a whole heck of a lot of new stuff in here. Let's start by putting this whole thing into a try. Most of it at least. Okay. So try. If the choice is equal to a 1, again, I don't need the parens there, but I'm used to putting them in. So I'm going to say here, emp number equals int input, enter a unique employee number. Number. All right. Whoopsie. Exactly what I did there, but we'll fix it. Okay, after the first name, we need the last name, so that's basically the same. Okay, so we've got those done. And as always, I'm going to give them a little hint here. Say that it's 0 through 84. Looks like I forgot the double quote right there. Still forgot it. Let's put it in there. There we go. Unlike some, so let's look. Float, input, enter, hours worked. We didn't close this though, did we? I don't need 2 sets around here. I'm not sure why I've got 2 sets, but I do. There we go. And finally, hourly rate. Which was between 0 and 99.99. We can pretty this up. Doesn't really matter. There. Maybe move it over 1 there. Now they line up nicely. Let's pretty this up a little bit. All right. Now, down at the bottom, just so I get rid of this error with the try, I'm going to hit enter a couple times. And I'm going to put in here, except value error. You see the error's already gone away. As E for error. And we'll just print error, and then we'll print out what the error was. Okay. Finally, and again, I'm just going ahead a little bit. I'm going to say if underscore underscore name underscore underscore equal, equal underscore underscore main underscore underscore, and we're just going to call main. Okay, now let's go back and fix this because it's not done yet. All right, so this was number 1. We only have, like I said, like I have 4 or 5 of them in here. So we've got all these. So now we can say mgr dot add employee, And we want to add the employee number, the first name, and notice as I do this, the grayness in here will all leave. The last name, the hours worked, and the hourly rate. Okay, so those are all done. All right, so that'll be number 1 because that was to add a new employee. Elif choice equal 2. And if it's a 2, we're again going to ask them to put in an employee number. Like that. All right. And I know I still agree. It should be number or not numbers. There we go. All right. Then we'll say count. And pretty it up, sure. Equal mgr.count employees. And we'll pass in the employee number. All right, and we'll print. This is kind of a stupid one to put in. I probably shouldn't do it like this. I am going to, and I'm not going to change it. But since each employee number has to be unique, if I put in a valid employee number, it should say something like number of employees with number 100, and it'll be 1. But if let's say I put in 63 and there is no employee number 63, then it would say something like number of employees with number 63, 0. Okay, but that's fine. So that's 2. Elif choice is equal to 3. Or again, same thing we did here. All right, as for an employee number, this we're not, let's just say enter an employee number. So here this will be index is equal to mgr dot get employee index. Oops. And then we'll print that index. If it's a 4, display employees. If it's 5, normal program termination. And I don't think I've been saying this, but goodbye. There we go. And then we can exit. Otherwise, we didn't put in a 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5. So let's just print invalid choice. Please try again. And I believe I've got everything done. Now, everything is done in my main. Now, can I run this? Well, the answer is yes, but I'm going to get an error on this line. And if I comment that line out, I'm going to probably get an error on that line. So I'm going to just not run it right now. Okay, so that is that one. Next then, let's come in here and let's make an employee class. Okay, it won't be real long, 30 or 40 lines. And then we'll do our employee manager class. So save, come in here, and let's put in employee.py. All right, we'll start with our program constants. Should know these now without any problems. So min hours equal 0.00, max hours, okay, equals 84.00, min hourly rate equals 0.00, max hourly rate equals 99.99, max non-OT, again, the most number of overtime hours you can work without getting paid for overtime is 40, and our overtime rate is equal to 1.5. All right, so those are our program constants. All right, let's create our class employee then. Our constructor, or what we call in here init. Now, every time we create one of these, we're going to add the employee number, the first name, the last name. Let's get rid of this. The hours worked and the hourly rate. All right. I did very minimal checking on this. If you want to go and add the checking for some of this stuff, or you don't think I did it correctly, go back and look at the earlier programs. But for this one, I just tried to keep it simple. I said, if not, emp number. So if there's nothing there, in fact, let's put this in parens. I didn't on mine, but I like doing it like this. All right, we're just going to raise a value error that says employee number cannot be left blank. Okay, in fact, let's do this. Let's do the same thing. I'm going to copy this down twice. So we've got employee number. Let's do the same thing here with first name and with last name. So that's all that. should be able to put F strings into all these. Doesn't matter so far on what I've done, but it will on this one. Okay. And we've got that one. Let's add the one in here. So this is our hourly rate. Okay, must be between min age rate and max age rate. What the heck happened here? Okay, that's done. Now let's basically add the field. So self dot emp number equals emp number. Self dot first name equals first name. Self dot last name equals last name. Self dot hours worked equals hours worked. And self dot hourly rate equals hourly rate. All right. Now there's a couple things I have left here. First one is I'm going to add some properties. Okay. Let's see, did I do that right? Yep. There's our straight time. And again, you can pretty this up. I was always taught as a programmer, rather than having two return statements in here, I'm going to do this. I'm going to say gross equals 0.00. So here we'll say gross equals self dot hours worked times self dot hourly rate, else gross equal max non-OT times self dot hourly rate. And I want to add to that, so I'm going to move that over so I can move this over. Self dot hours worked minus max non-OT times self dot hourly rate fact, I don't even need parens here. Probably could put them in. I don't think it would hurt anything, but times the overtime rate. Same stuff I've been doing all along. Nothing new there. Now I've got gross and I've got gross, but the good news is now I only need to return it in one place. So return gross. Just like that. All right. I don't see any errors in here. Oh, looks like I might have an error in here. I forget my colon. There we go. So no errors in here. So right now I have created my employee class and my main. And even this one, there's only the add, the count, the get index, and the display. So this isn't very big. So we're going to create one more in here. All right. And now we're going to fix that error that we have in main, because we're going to have our employee mgr.py. So this will be, we will want to import employee as, we'll just call it emp. And here we'll have class employee mgr. We will create an empty tuple by saying self.employees equal bracket bracket. Reason that getting that error there is, of course, I forgot to pass in self, not slef, but self. Okay, so class. Oh, that doesn't go there. Good gravy, Jeffrey. I didn't do my definite. So def underscore underscore init underscore underscore now self. Okay, and we need to move this over. So what don't you like here? Class employee manager def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self. Self.employees probably is again goofed up with these tabbings. All right, we'll fix it right now. So class employee manager def underscore underscore init underscore underscore and then self. I think it's because I put in parens here. Come, get out of there. Class employee manager. Let's just get rid of all this and retype it in. Okay. So I'm going to say def underscore underscore init underscore underscore self dot employees equals bracket bracket, and you can see my errors are now gone. Okay. What did I do? Not sure. Don't really care. All right. So the first thing I want to add in here is my add employees. Add employee. We need self. We also need in here the employee number, the first name. We've done this umpteen times now. The last name, the hours worked, and the hourly rate. All right. Remember, these employee numbers must be unique. So one way we can do this is to say any emp0, which is the employee number, equal the emp number for emp in self.employee. So that'll navigate its way through. And if I happen to put in an existing employee number, I'm going to raise a value error here that says employee number must be unique. All right. Assuming that that if wasn't true, I don't need an else. If I get down to here, it was a new employee number, so I can say employee equals emp dot employee. Whoops. Employee, and let's just, good gravy, Jeff. Let's just grab everything we have up here. We don't need the self, but we need everything else. Like that. And then self.employees.append employee.to tuple. And I don't know if I added that one in my last thing I was working on. So let's take a quick look. I did not. So we're going to put in here another property at property. And this is going to be DEF. And we're going to call this one to tuple. We'll pass in self. And this is just going to say return self.emp number, self.first name, self.last name, self.hours worked, self.hourly rate, and finally self.gross pay. All right, so we're returning the tuple. Let me come in here and do a file. Let's just do a save all here. All right, so we're up to there. All right. So let's do our count, which we called count employees. We do pass in an employee number with that. So return sum we're just going to return 1 for emp in self.employees if you find a match. So if emp 0 equal emp number. Since everyone must be unique, this is a totally fine way to do it. All right, a couple more lines. We're almost done, believe it or not. So let's do a def on get employee index. You'll notice too that our error that we had in main is now gone. And again, in there, we need to pass in an employee number. We're going to enumerate, which means we're going to work our way through the employee tuple. And if emp 0 equal emp number, we found one. Okay. So we'll return the index, and if we get all the way through it and don't find it, we will raise a value error that says employee not found. All right. And the last thing to do in here, to my knowledge, the last thing that we'll do is to display the employees. I didn't even need that. Yeah, we can put it in. That's fine. The employee number. Which is EMP0. The name, which is EMP1. Followed by a space, and then EMP2. Comma, hours. And I'm trying to figure out why that would be blue. So let's fix this right away. You son of a gun. All right. EMP0. We did not end that. There we go. There's the name, then there's the hours, which is going to be EMP3. And the rate, which is going to be EMP4. And finally, the gross pay, which we can put a $sign in there and then put in EMP5. And I could be mistaken. I don't believe that I am. I think I'm done. So I'm saving it all. Again, I haven't run this even once yet, so there could be errors in here. All right, and there's some garbage here. So let's see if we do a file, save all, if I'm going to have a problem with this when I run it or not. Yeah, it's still giving me that invalid syntax. Okay, that's not a problem. Let's do a file, save, and remove. Clear this one. A file, save, and clear this one. And a file, save, get rid of that one. All right, again, I keep having these history problems. Don't know why, but I am anyway. Let's just bring up the list one that we had. It's interesting. All right, so I guess I'll have to bring that up with code. All right, so it is saying there to enter all that stuff. Enter your choice. Don't want that. Let's just bring up here. Come on. Main, and let's run main. This should clear out the history problem that we get when we run this. Say 12, which should exit. Good. All right, now let's do a B here and let's clear. All right, so that should be cleared. This I should be able to remove. Done. Let's bring back up main. Let's close this. Let's run it. See if we get errors. Son of a gun. All right, invalid syntax. Not a problem. We're going to have to figure out what it is. That's all. You had the same type of thing before. I remember that with this standard in. So let's see if we can figure out what it is. That doesn't look like a problem. Invalid syntax. Usually, again, the problem ends up being something like I'm off on my tabs. So, Looks like, yeah, so far at least everything looks cool. Okay. Looks good. Looks good to me. File, save all. It's still giving me that weird invalid syntax, so let's do this again. File, save. Now it could be that it's in one of the other files, even though it's showing it in here, but I don't think that's the case. That one appeared to be running okay. Yeah, it is. Okay, so that one's all right. So let's close, close, and close. And clear that, close that. Let's see if I still get that error if I run this. Well, son of a gun. File191. Oh, I think I know what it is. Kind of the same goofy error I had before. Nope. There's no space in there. 01, 02, 03. I was going to say maybe it didn't like the dash, but I don't think that's what it is. Employee manager. That's all fine. Invalid syntax. Showing me it right here. Let's look at that. Python oop. Let's just do this. For some reason, occasionally what happens in here, the system gets freaked, for lack of better words. Let's close this. All right, when I've got dashes and names, I don't know why it would. like I said, I don't know why that would be any kind of problem. Well, but it is printing it all out now. So I don't know what the problem with that is. Let's see if we can add a new employee. Okay. Spelled append wrong. Again, these are, as a programmer, these are the mistakes we all make. So I think that's in here. Add penned. That's interesting. File, save all. Let's run it again. All right. 1. Looks good. Let's add one more. What if we put in 100 again? Okay. It says it's not subscriptable. Well, the problem is it does not appear to like the way I'm checking for that. So let's just, before we go on, let's just do this. And that is, let me bring it up again. All right, and I'm going to run it as though everything is hunky-dory. So 100, Jeff Scott, 200, Sandy Scott. Still doesn't like it. Okie dokie. I think the error is right in here, and I think I should have that first paren ending there instead of where I have it ending. And that is inside of well, when I did it the first time, all right, when I did it the first time, I didn't have an outside parenthesis there. So let's try that. Let's remove that. So we're going to get rid of that, and we're going to get rid of that. See if that fixes it or doesn't fix it. Oops. Run the right file. All right, still doesn't like this. That's how I did it in my master, but for some reason, that's not working. So I'm going to take a quick break, see if I can figure out the problem, and if I can, I'll come back with that. All right, I was looking through this. I didn't see anything that looked wrong. I did a couple minor things. This should be exactly the same. Don't believe I changed anything in here. All right, here's the employee manager, but let's also bring out the employee class. So here, yeah, what's that? Oh, but program constants. Okay. There's our employee class, if not first name. I removed that about the emp number, but I don't think that's hurting anything to put that in there. There's our properties. Nothing changed in there. So the other thing I did was I removed that check for the first name. It's the only thing so far in here I've changed. And in the employee manager, there's the add, exactly like it was before. If it is in there, employee number must be unique, so we're checking it there. Otherwise, we're basically appending it. There's our count. There's our get variable index, and there's our display. Let's do a save, and a save. Go back to here and let's run this. I'm hoping I don't get any errors this time. If I do, I'm going to have to take a longer pause. So 100. All right, so I've done that. Let's do a 2. Enter the employee number to count. Well, if I put in 100, it should say 1. There I am. If I put in a 200, whoops, a 2 and a 200, it should again say 1 because that's the other one. If I put in a 2 with something that doesn't exist, so 1, 2, 3, I get the number of employees are 0, which would be correct. Next, get the employee index, 3. Enter employee number to find, so 100. 100 is index 0, 3. Enter an employee number to find with 200, and that's 1, so that works. Finally, display the employees, so 4. And there they are. And I do have a blank space in between each one. I didn't have to do that, but it's fine. All right, and 5 should allow me to exit. All right, well, another one is in the books then. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to do a file. Let's just close this. And we've got in here our set. And in our set, again, all I have in here is the comment. See, there's more stuff that's in here. All right, so there's that one. Hopefully that's okay. And a file. Save all, I guess. No, I don't want to do that. No, just a file save on this one. So that one is cleared up now. So I'm going to come back in just a minute and try to do the set example. All right, I'll see you then.